Is Visa really getting into the crypto business? If so, what does that mean for people like you and me? Well, if news is to be believed, then the answer is yes, they are going full force into crypto. In this video, we're going to talk about what that means for you, what that means for me, what I think the outlooks are, and why I actually think this is a good thing, not a bad thing for crypto. You're curious? You want to know more? Stay tuned. All of this we are going to cover, my friends, and so much more coming right up. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If we have never met before, hello, my name is Wes Spencer, and I am a technologist, a cybersecurity guy. I have been involved in building startups for a big part of my career. I actually just sold one right here for $80 million. So this has been something that I've been very passionate about. And you guys know, if you follow me in my channel, I'm super passionate about crypto. Now, I'm a lot different than the other content producers that are out there that are doing their own thing, and good for them on that. A lot of them are just like pumpers. They'll take a crypto and they'll just tell you why it's going to the moon or why it's falling apart. I'm not really into that stuff in this channel. I'm interested in the technology pieces. I'm interested in all of the things that make those cryptos tick. And I love giving you some honest thoughts and opinions that I just think we all need to hear. So we're going to cover all of that in this video. And by the way, you know what I'm about to ask you. Would you hit subscribe? If you've been following my content for a while, you just stumbled upon me, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, smash the like button. You know it really does go a long way for producers like me that love to create all kinds of content. I would love to be able to stay in touch with you. So without further ado, let's jump into this. I want to show you what I am seeing. This came over from our friends at CoinDesk, and I thought this was a pretty interesting article. So they're just talking about how Visa is thinking about adding cryptocurrencies to its network. I want to show you a few things that came out of Nathan's article that was really good. And I'm going to link this in the description down below. So if you want to read this, you can. So what happened on the last earnings call with Visa? And if you don't know what earnings calls are, these are opportunities for publicly traded companies just to talk about, hey, what has our company looked like? What have we done well? If we've had growth, where it's coming from, projections, and just an opportunity to talk about the future of the company. And so one thing that Visa mentioned, the actual CEO Al said, he said in the earnings call, and I'll put the description in this as well if you want to see it, but look what he said. He described cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and others as quote unquote digital gold. Now, what is Visa and Al in particular actually saying about this? Well, he's just saying this. He's like, look, right now it's think of it as a digital gold. In other words, it's a store of asset is what he's talking about. Most cryptocurrencies, certainly not all. Don't take me to say that. I don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying what Al from Visa said. He's saying for the most part, it's a store of value. It's for the hodlers. It's for the people that are saying this is a good investment vehicle and strategy for me. I want to buy it. I want to hold it just like I would gold, which is why he calls it a digital gold. Now, one thing that Visa knows, and it's something they think about all day long because this is all they do, is payment technology. They are constantly thinking about what is payment technology, what's the future of payment tech, and what are the threats that we need to be thinking about and addressing. And for sure, one of the big threats that they face and they're very aware of from a systemic perspective and point of view is what does blockchain and cryptocurrency do as a threat to us as a payment vehicle? That's what he's thinking about. And so when he makes that comment that you saw there, I'm going to go back to it so you can actually see it. When he makes that comment of it's not being used in any like significant way at this point, he's right. If you look at the transactions per second of just about any cryptocurrency that's out there, it's way, way, way under what Visa is at. And I'm going to show you some articles in a second. I'm going to show you some data where we can actually correlate that and see. But also, Visa is well aware that that's not going to be that way forever. If you look at the rapid growth and the maturation and the evolution of cryptocurrency over the past 5 years, it is staggering what we have built. It is staggering seeing some of these amazing new cryptocurrencies coming out, like Cardano, for example. It's been out for a really long time, but a huge focus on transaction speed. And so Visa knows that. Visa sees all of this through their lining and saying, we've got to address this, and we've certainly got to make sure that we have a future stake in this, because otherwise it's a threat that could really shut us down. So going back to the article, he says a few more things that I actually want to cover in a bit more detail. As we go down, he's talking about, their strategy to work with wallets and exchanges to enable users to purchase these currencies using their Visa credentials. Guys, that's a good idea. I'm not saying, don't take this as me saying that is the only way that it should be done, but for many consumers, it is a way that works really well. Why do consumers like credit cards? Well, there's a whole lot of reasons they like them beyond just, they get extended credit to them that they don't actually have the ability to spend. We know those problems, but more than that, it's a simple payment ecosystem. At least in the US, I present a card, I swipe, and unfortunately, we're still swiping in some cases, insert the chip pin, or I use some other payment tech like Apple Pay, and Visa handles that transaction for me. It's magic. It just works. Like my kids literally think like there's some kind of fake money that's sitting there on that card, and somehow I just get whatever I want because I just have this plastic card. And it's actually not that untrue. It's kind of close to reality, isn't it? So if you think about where we're at in today's like legacy payment technology, everything's already digital. Well, crypto is also digital. That's scary. If you think about how easy it is to make payments through Visa, that's the one thing that they have going for them in their hand that really, really, really protects them from cryptocurrencies. But that is not long and far away. Many cryptos are coming in leaps and bounds and getting to be competitive, at least in many ways, to what Visa is at. Or you look at even exchanges. Getting set up with Coinbase or Kraken or Binance or any of the other exchanges that you like to use, very easy to get set up. Couple taps and I'm off and running. Those are the systemic threats that Visa needs to address. And so going back to that article again, when you see what he talks about here, he talks about our goal is to work with wallets and exchanges to enable users to purchase currencies. He's saying this, he's saying, I want to leverage the world of Visa to make it easier for the average Joe. Maybe not for people like you and me that are watching this video that are pretty crypto savvy and kind of know what we're about and know what we're, how to do all of this and like to do it on our own and hold our own crypto in our own wallets and secure them in our own ways. He's not talking about those people. He's talking about the masses. This is, you think about the bell curve of adoption, he's talking about the top of the bell curve, the everyday users that just want the easy button. They don't want the secure button. They don't want the complex button. They don't want the button that gives them all the control. They just want the easy button. Push button, get crypto, do transaction, move on in life. And that is where we still have not gotten today. Let me give you an illustration. Oftentimes people ask me, they're like, what do you think, Wes, is the future of crypto? You think it's really going to work out? I mean, it's been around for a while and it doesn't seem like really anything's happening out of it, just from the long-term view of things. I'm like, well, never mind the fact that crypto's at an all-time high right now, bro. But beyond that, I'm like, look, think of crypto like the internet. See, I am one of those very advantageous generations where I've always grown up around technology. I grew up with like an Atari 2600 at home. I played a Commodore 64, and I'm pre-internet era though. So I've always been around technology. I've never not been exposed to tech, but I saw the beginnings of the internet. I remember the very first few times I connected, it was not easy to connect. It was things like PPP commands and modem dial pools and all this stuff that was really complex. And you ask people back then, like, what's the internet all about? It's like, it's just a quick information exchange to be able to go onto a bulletin board and like post some dumb stuff or like read something. It's almost like an online encyclopedia. And that was the extent, because it was complex. Well, fast forward to today, and what happens? You and I have phones. The internet is built into it. No one thinks, how do I get onto the internet? The internet's just already here. It just works. It's a part of the fabric of our lives. Crypto is not there yet, my friends. We still have a long way for crypto to go to get to that stage. And so when he's saying things like this here, we want to make it easy. That is what he's getting into. That's what he's going after, talking about we need to make this much, much more easy. Now, a couple other things that I wanted to talk about. So he also mentions, he's like, hey, look, we're already in the crypto game already. While we may not be like the interface between wallets and actually handling the payment technology using crypto, he says, I am involved in this, in that Visa is very involved with others that are out there. And I want to talk about some of these. So like he lists some of these here, like crypto.com, BlockFi, Fold, and others. And you may be wondering, well, what does he mean by that? Well, let me show you what he means by that. Take a look at BlockFi's. And I am by no means advocating this BlockFi's card. I think it's really interesting. At some point, I might do a review on it once it comes live. It's on a wait list right now. So there's no referral codes for me. There's no pumping this up. I'm not a pumper. This is interesting. So this is in partnership with Visa, and this is a very simple cash back, but instead of cash back, it's Bitcoin back is really what this guy is. So it's not really that complex. But once you get signed up in your BlockFi account, you're going to get your card built. And as you make transactions, you make 1.5% back in Bitcoin. That's kind of awesome. For those of you that want to build crypto wealth slowly and easily and residually, this may be an option for you. Now, I don't use this. I use a different credit card that has much better rewards than this, but I do think this is really interesting. Maybe this could be used as like a company card for you. If you're somebody that travels a lot and getting reimbursed, think of it as 1.5% back on your travel. That's freaking awesome, right? That's really, really cool. So my point is, going back to the article, there's a lot of different ways that Visa is already getting involved as fintech. It's financial technology. How can we get involved in all of this and further all of that? That's where Visa is at right now. Now, do I think they're creating like Visa coin? Maybe not yet. Do I think that they're just going to leverage and use Bitcoin as the payment mechanism, as the gateway? Probably not as well, but it may be technology that runs on top of Ethereum or Cardano or Bitcoin itself in the future. They are just positioning themselves to be looked at as a leader in crypto payments and a leader in where blockchain is going, because they're already a leader in the financial space. Now, if you don't believe me on that, here's just some more data. So Visa does have some things to say. There's some merit to them saying, look, the crypto world's not ready for all of this yet. I thought this was pretty interesting as well. If you look, Visa does somewhere, at least from this article, that's probably pretty accurate from what I've seen as an old school banker, 1,700 transactions a second on average, if you extrapolate that. That's a lot of transactions. I mean, that's pretty incredible. Bitcoin is like 4.6 transactions a second. Now, don't hate. I know that there are many other cryptos that are out there that are built to push more transactions per second. They're really pushing the envelope of technology of what can be done. For example, if you look at Cardano, there's some really interesting things happening inside of what Cardano is all about, to be not just very decentralized, but to allow for really fast and higher transactions per second. But even Cardano is not close and is not ready to start sniffing at what Visa is doing with transactions per second. And coming back to all of this, why does all that matter, my friends? Well, here's why it matters. Consumers. Consumers matter everything in payment technology. I've talked about this before in some of my other videos. When you're creating a company, when you're creating technology, you have to keep your audience in mind. Well, who is your audience here? People like you, people like me, but that are not as technical. And they just want simple payment. They want to be protected from fraud. They want to have the easy ways to do all of this. And some of that goes against what Bitcoin really kind of pioneered in this decentralized ecosystem, to take the big boys, the big banks out of all of this. And I understand those sentiments a lot. But the majority, average Joe consumer, doesn't care about that. He thinks of Bitcoin as my store of wealth. He doesn't think of himself going to the store and using Bitcoin to pay for his groceries. But Visa's thinking about that. Many others are thinking about that and saying, how can we leverage the awesome, groundbreaking technology of cryptocurrency to use inside of our umbrellas to make life easier, safer, faster, more secure for our end users? And that is why Visa is getting into the game. So what do I think about it? Good for Visa. I hope this works for them. We all have credit cards, at least most of us do, and we use them every single day. Do I wish I could be rid of them altogether? Yes, but it's just a fact of life and a future for now. And so I think it's smart for Visa to get into this. And I think it's great for them. They should keep their ear to the ground to understand, what do their consumers want, so they don't get left in the dust. The last thing they want to be is like the Kodak in the world of digital cameras. They don't want to be that. They're avoiding that. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you agree with this? Is Visa making the right moves? Does it even matter? Do you think they're on a collision course with destiny of failure? Or do you think this could be something that will absolutely save their future? Or do you think it's relatively unimportant in this world? Give me your thoughts and feedback. I would absolutely love to know what you all think about the future of Visa in the world of cryptocurrency. And while I've still got you watching, would you do me a favor? Hit the subscribe button. I asked you to do it at the beginning. Come back and do that now. It would mean the world to me. I've got new content coming out all the time and would love to produce more things just for you, my friends. Hey, stay safe, be nice and kind to one another, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.